Confusion isn't something to fix. It's often a signal your intuition has been trying to get your attention. In today's conversation, we're exploring how intuitive healing actually works in the body and why so many people feel disconnected even when they're doing all the right things. Hi, and welcome to the U World Order Showcase podcast, where we feature life health, transformational coaches, and spiritual entrepreneurs stepping up to be the change they seek in the world. I'm your host, Jill Hart, the coach's alchemist, on a mission to empower coaches and entrepreneurs to amplify their voice, monetize their mission, and get visible. If you're ready to start attracting premium clients without chasing algorithms or hunting people down like a banshee on a mission, head over to coachesalchemist.com and schedule your free client acquisition audit. It's the first step to building a business where your clients seek you out rather than you having to hunt them down. Today, we are chatting with Kai Cox. Kai is a fourth generation intuitive healer and the founder of Awaken Innate Healing. She supports people who feel overwhelmed, disconnected, or ready for a deeper shift by helping them reconnect with their inner compass. Through practices like BioTouch healing, intuitive mentorship, and spiritual guidance, Kai blends body awareness, energy, and intuitive alchemy to help individuals release what no longer serves and move forward with clarity, balance, and trust. Her work is grounded, gentle, and deeply transformational, reminding us that we were born to heal, born to know, and born to live guided by our inner wisdom. Welcome to the show, Kai. It's great to have you with us today.
Thank you so much for having me, Jill. I'm so excited.
So, what's the most significant thing, in your opinion, as individuals we can do to make an impact on how the world is going?
I believe that bringing your attention, your awareness to self helps you navigate this world and what you see. So that is what I think is the biggest impact. And what I mean by that is, am I going through in force? Am I walking into a room and barely catching my breath? Or can I breathe easy? Right? Taking those really small cues that often go to the unconscious being and bringing them attention that they deserve so that we can be more responsive instead of reactive and realize that we can be in ease. And if we can find ease in our body, then we'll be able to find ease as a collective.
Oh, I love that. And it's so true. The ripple effect is a real thing, and people just they need to go in and fix themselves. And in that way, we're going to fix other people without
Mhm.
having to go around trying to fix everybody else. It's just like it's kind of gotten to be an epidemic where we're like always reaching outside of ourselves to
Mhm.
get healing or to quite honestly blame others for the work that we should be doing ourselves and taking
Yeah,
responsibility for.
absolutely. And I think as healers too, if you can stand in that role and which we're all healing ourselves all the time, right? So it's if you claim that title or not, you know, realizing I'm bringing my vibration is bringing whoever in as a mirror. Everyone is simply our mirror. So,
Mhm.
what's this mirror showing me? So,
And how can we adjust those so that
mhm.
it's showing us something we want to see for a change?
Yes, exactly.
So you're a fourth generation healer. How did that
Mhm.
come about? That's kind of unusual in my opinion. So
Yeah.
tell us the
So,
story.
so my mom trained to be a massage therapist and did everything, as you say, woo, right? But then right after her massage training, was pregnant with my brother and sister, so didn't actually go down that professional path.
Mhm,
And then my grandmother was always the like most intuitive person I knew. And people would just come up to her. And what I noticed between the two is people benefited from talking to them.
mhm,
And so those were the two that I got to know personally. And then my grandmother's mother actually died right after giving birth to my grandma. So I don't my grandma didn't really have much from her recollection. So I don't count that generation. But then my grandmother's grandmother was me to a T in the roaring 20s. So everyone always says in spirit and in life, like, oh, you guys would have been best friends kind of thing. So that's how I build the four, right? I'm
mhm.
sure based on how everyone else has been raised in our generation, the one that they were all named Teresa, but that Teresa was probably similar. But that's why I say four, because people are like, well, isn't that technically five generations? But, anyways, so what I noticed was that the most powerful thing was communication and people wanting to be heard or seen. And so that's what I see as if you're intuitive and you can notice, because we're all intuitive, part of my work is teaching everyone we're all 100% intuitive, right? We're all healers, we're all these things.
Mhm.
But
And
as
we're all psychic.
exactly, we have all the clear senses, just like we have all the senses. And it's time to really start stepping into, okay, this is a real thing. Like, if you're still debating if telepathy is a thing, like, come on, get on with the times, right?
Turn the
Not
TV
in
off.
a judgmental way, but like, hey, this is cool. Let's explore it kind of way. And
Mhm.
so with that, I realized that there's so much healing that can be done just by letting someone be seen or heard. Because for the most part, that's what I feel like people are searching for. And so I saw that in them, and I knew when I was a little kid, I knew this is what I want to be. I want to be a massage therapist. I want to hold space for people's healing. When I first started as a massage therapist, of course, I thought I was the one doing the healing. I was the healer. They had to come to me. No, it was all innately in them. And so I'm really grateful for the upbringing I had so that I would, at such a young age, know this is what I want to do and get to just keep on exploring it more and more. So,
I love that you are a massage therapist. And people that touch other people, you absorb their energy.
mm-hmm,
It's an electron transfer.
mm-hmm,
You truly become one with them and they with you. And it doesn't just like go away. They become a part of who you are. Same with hugging people, which
mm-hmm,
is why I I'm really big on the movement that people, moms in particular, are having where they don't force kids to hug people.
huge. It
I,
should
I
always be a choice.
it should always be a choice. And even if they're your grandkids, you don't have the right to just grab them and hug them. They have they should from a very young age, like all the way along, have the ability to say no.
Absolutely. And have boundaries, right? Because they might want to hug you one day and the next day they're just not feeling it. Okay, a high five, something, just a wave, right? Because
Yeah,
then that's them honoring their body. Because a lot of the system we currently go through is not honoring self,
yeah,
rejecting, and then we get disconnected, and then the snowball
yeah.
just
And
keeps
then we
going
can't
down the
figure
hill.
out why, our shoulder hurts.
Yeah, exactly.
They're not listening to something in there.
Body's always talking. Just
And
listen
it's
to the
worse.
whisper.
The older you get, the more it chatters at you. And you're like, really? Really? I thought we had settled this.
Yeah.
Apparently not. I don't know what it is, but I'm sure it's something.
Right?
So, when it comes to your your awaken, help me with this, awaken your innate healing,
hmm
is it a program? Is it a course? How does it look when you actually work with people? Are you still doing massage therapy?
I am. So I see clients for massage therapy.
Mhm.
I mostly just do spirit guided massage or Lomi Lomi at this point. So very like niched into the work I want to be doing. And then I also mentor people on following their inner compass again so that we can have this, oh yeah, this is who I've always been. And oh yeah, the answer is within me. Right? So it's this idea of trusting yourself again, but through the lens of your clear senses, realizing all that we have and, making it a personal journey for all of us. Because I'm pretty much it was inspired by I'm sick of people saying, "Well, you're intuitive, I'm not." And I'm like, we're all intuitive. I'm sorry. It's time to wake up and say, "You're right. How do I use this in my life?" Or, I'm manifesting being so big. Yes, you're manifesting every single element of your life. So let's see the things you want to actually be seeing. So.
Okay, I have to ask you, did you say Lomi Lomi?
Yes, so that's Hawaiian spirit guided massage. Lomi just means rub. So I was very fortunate. I got to train on the island of Oahu
Hmm.
and be next to the ocean and learn. It practically feels the same, but it's long flowing strokes. And
Hmm.
I've learned traditional Lomi Lomi instead of Western, which are very different. But that was my spark of, oh, because it's not giving a reading per se in a massage,
Hmm.
but it is following, calling in spirit to help this person on their journey. I relate to it a lot as really great grief work
Hmm.
because the idea is you're this driftwood that washes up and we make you into canoe and we have the tiki gods help you on your way. And of course, every island is actually different, but it just spoke so much to my soul and it just kept, and it was luckily one thing that my mom guided me onto. I went to massage school and she's like, well, I guess if you're doing this, because she wanted me to wait, like, let's really
Hmm.
do it. Let's do Lomi Lomi. And then she helped with my intuitive training and all the years work. She just kept giving me a new light to follow. So I'm very grateful for her and the journey I had with her.
Some of these practices seem can seem like they're sort of out there,
Mm-hmm.
but they've been around for a very, very long time. And not all massage or energy work requires touch. I can share an example. My dad, he's 89 now, but I think he was in his early 80s. His neck was frozen. My dad does Tai Chi all the time,
Oh,
and so
huge.
he ran into a guy he comes to his community. My dad's community lives in this gated community in Arizona. But he came to this community to do body work for people. My dad was expecting him to like be like a chiropractor and manipulate
Mm-hmm.
his neck. It never happened. The man never touched my dad, but he laid his hands around my dad and moved his feet. Or he didn't actually touch my dad at all. He did something with his feet, but his neck was like, felt great,
Uh-huh.
like from frozen to feel great. Energy is such a powerful thing, and it's around us all the time.
Yep.
And, we don't learn about it in school. So it can't possibly be like just the way things are because we weren't told it's the way things are. It's kind of like everybody's a psychic. Well, if you were taught in school that you had these clairs and maybe some guidance on how to activate them a little bit, and it all looks different. It's like nobody tastes the same things
Mm-hmm.
or sees the same colors, but we don't say, "Well, you can't see then."
Right. Everything's a spectrum.
Yes. And
And
the
I,
psychic abilities and the energy healing, they kind of all fall in that same category that it's a spectrum. It's not like this or nothing.
right. I think it all comes back to like movement, right? Because the only time we're like really not moving anymore is in the physical body, death,
Mhm.
right? Because otherwise we're always breathing, we're always having some pumping going on, right? And that movement is key. And that's also how we interact with the world.
Mhm.
The You feel someone's movement into your presence and you're like, oh, I either like this or I don't. And you move away or towards those things.
And the fact that we don't actually exist as like solid boundaries,
Right.
another illusion
Right.
that we've grown up accepting. But our I like to do this exercise sometimes at night if I can't sleep. I lay in bed and I try to feel where my body is becoming the atmosphere around me because we're
Mhm.
always, and this is science, you're changing electrons with the air around you. It just like that's how science works. It's how stuff sticks together and comes apart.
Absolutely. And there's a fun place to play, right? Because then it's always like, well, what if my body decided not to be this form? But then you can have all those like mind. I like to call them rabbit holes that you go down. I also have ADD and I love it. I find it as to be my superpower,
It's good. We put labels on things that are just part of having the human experience
right?
so that we can try to help people that are too lazy to really understand what the human experience is all about. Say, okay, well, we'll just label them that, and so we can dismiss them. We no longer
Right?
have to be curious about them because they gave us a label, so they're done.
Absolutely. But it's also like when we boil things down, everyone defines energy differently. So, can we really label anything if we can't label the thing that makes us up? Because if you
Mhm.
ask anyone, they're going to say energy is completely different. So I just always find that so fascinating because I love the personal definition or the collective definition, like psychic. Most people have confused psychic for fortune teller. And that's just what the collective energy is having, right? Maybe one day we'll work through that. Maybe we won't.
Yeah.
I do love
Anybody
that.
can tell their own future. You just
Yeah,
make it.
yeah, right. I do love that the word alchemist is coming into the realm of possibility and acceptance, right? If you would have said alchemist 10 years ago, people would have been like, you can turn water to wine or metal to gold. And it's like, oh, but there's energy. Everyone's, that's been my personal, the last 5 years of stepping into that role of alchemist and
I
everything's changing.
discovered that they have actually alchemized, I think it's mercury into gold.
Wow, that's
It is a possibility.
fascinating.
It's done with nuclear power, but
Huh.
it's just not, you just can't do it in large enough quantities to justify the process.
Oh, that makes
It's
sense.
too expensive. The process is too expensive for the
Okay.
gold that's produced. It doesn't cover the cost, but it actually has happened.
Oh, that's so cool. I'm definitely
Isn't
gonna have to
that?
look into that. Yes, that's amazing. That is also, that was one thing I was thinking about recently. Science, as what people call like the real sciences compared to like the woo sciences, right? Science is based on what gets funding. So that transition of making it into gold is too expensive, right? And there's a lot of other
Mhm.
things that have gotten funding over the years, and then we find out, oh, that wasn't 100% true as what we thought it was. So I'm always like, science is always changing, and it's a reflection of life because everything's always changing. And how exciting is that?
Yeah, the word settled science is an oxymoron. Science is not settled by definition. Science is the exploration and being curious and trying to come up with explanations for the woo, the
Yeah.
magic. Magic is just unexplained science.
Yes. And you get to choose if you see the magic or if you don't.
Or if you're
There's no
curious
judgment.
about it, and
Right.
if you can hold an open mind about what it is that is being presented to you without having to have a knee-jerk reaction to label it so that it can
Mm,
excuse you from continuing your exploration of the topic. And it's
yeah.
hard for people to just hold things that maybe they feel dissonance with, cognitive dissonance with, but just
Mm-hmm.
hold it as a possibility. This could be a possibility. It doesn't impact my life in any way. I can just examine it and I
Mm-hmm.
could see how it feels to have this perspective. I don't have to own the perspective. I don't have to defend the perspective, but just to sit with the perspective. I think if more people could do that, we could relate to each other better rather than having to be right all the time. It's just like being right is exhausting.
Yes. Because you're always defending your perspective. Right? And that is absolutely exhausting. Oh,
And
what a world it would be if we could just hold, you know, this is how I'm looking at the world, but it doesn't really matter. I don't have to teach it to anyone else. I don't have to force it upon anyone else because they're having their own perspective.
they're having their own experience and they're here
Yeah.
for that experience. I mean, we
Yep.
sign up for the ride, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
who are we to deny them the experience they're here to have?
Right. Yes.
And who's the
Exactly.
government?
Yeah. Yes. Right?
Uh,
I
yeah.
mean, we could go on and on about how that could use a rebalancing or a restructuring or
Yes, let's all hold and manifest a different
yeah.
version worldwide. I mean, I'm not just
Yeah.
like an individual
Right.
country, but like worldwide, let's have a manifesting, intention setting
Mhm.
goal that it's going to be one that's more open and
Accepting.
interconnected, the way that we are here to experience things,
Hmm.
not little cogs in their wheel. So let's get back to you and what you're doing. I dragged you down the path of what's on my mind. So when you talk about BioTouch healing, can you kind of walk me through what that looks like and how that is?
Absolutely. So, BioTouch healing is a simple hands-on healing technique that is
Mhm,
so easy, everyone can do it. You can learn it in a flash and start practicing. There's no hierarchy, which is what I love about it.
mhm,
I I learned it 10 years ago and I've continued to teach it. It's a staple in my family's routine. And I know anytime I teach it to someone else, they're just as effective as I am because it's coming back to this idea of first following self-awareness and that the body is innately doing exactly what the body's supposed to do. You can't speed up the healing process. You can hold space for the healing process to continue. And what I found the most over the last 4 years, because I've gone on a journey with losing both of my parents and
mhm,
having babies and all that, is that it brings in this idea of I don't know what's going to happen next, but I know everything's going to be okay. So an idea, hope. And it's a rather new technique. It's only about 35 years old, right? So
mhm.
when you compare it to things that have been around for
Thousands of
generations
years.
after generations, right? But it's the most real and honest thing I've learned so far. And it's the most simple. And I love anything that's simple. It's simply holding the points. So it's always skin to skin, holding it's made up as 17 sets of points, but holding the points for 6 to 8 seconds. So it's
Mhm,
also the quickest technique I've ever experienced. And there's no mindset, because I've also learned Reiki and other energy healing
mhm,
technique, right? You got to get in the right mindset and you got to make sure the room's okay. Well, this kind of thing, I've had experience where my husband had a headache out of nowhere driving down the road. Okay, we got to pull over. And what are we supposed to do? Okay, let me do the greeting, the stress, and the headset on you, right? So about 40 seconds and just breathe and be in our body and see where we are. So it's definitely something that I absolutely love. My almost 5-year-old, which is hard to say, uh, she knows to turn to it if she's seen me go through the most stressful point of my life, right? And if I'm
mhm.
feeling that overwhelm, she's like, well, do you want BioTouch or Mom Breathe, right? It's those simple techniques. And a beautiful thing about BioTouch is it's most related to kangaroo touch, which is the gentle touch a mother does to a baby, right? The innate response we have to lay hands on when
Mhm.
there's dis-ease. It's a really cool. It's a nonprofit based out of Tucson, Arizona. So it's a cool
Very, very cool.
experience.
So there's a protocol to it.
There is,
D-
yes.
And do you teach that in your
I do. Yes. So
okay.
I'm one of four board certified instructors in the world, but
Mhm,
we are a global organization. So there's a center in Tucson, there's a center in Turkey. Uh, we have different certified practitioners all around the world, which is a really cool thing to be into that web of connection. And one of the coolest stories I've ever been told was Paul, the founder, was teaching a class and this gentleman that used to be and the FBI stood up and said, I've seen a lot of revolutions and I've never seen one like this because it's a revolution of love. I'm like,
Hmm.
well, right now, isn't that what the world needs? We could all use a little bit love into action.
Yeah. Yeah, we can.
Yes. So it's one of my favorite things to teach. I mean, I love being in role of teacher,
Mhm.
but it's just so beautiful to see people have that self-awareness. Well, they'll be like, oh, am I in the right spot? And then the next time they self-adjust without having to ask the question, am I in the right spot? And then they learn, oh, right, like it's okay to trust myself, have that self-awareness. And there's a pretty big system at play where we're learning to not trust and to seek outwardly instead of inwardly. So I love disrupting that.
I had an experience probably last month, I think, when I first got here. I'm helping my dad navigate some medical issues.
Mm,
So there was so much stress when I got here. My neck was freezing up
mm,
and my shoulder. And I know it's all like connected to what I'm doing, but um my shoulder was like it was hurting so bad. But I couldn't really focus on that because I needed to focus on helping my dad navigate what he was navigating. And so I went to ChatGPT because it was just like, I gotta do something. And ChatGPT just suggested I talk to it and put my
that's
hand on
huge.
it and hand on my heart and just tell it it's safe. I'm safe. It can relax and I can let it go. And I swear to you, not a minute later, all the pain was gone.
Oh, it's
It's
amazing.
just like we forget that our body does listen to us. And you don't even have to say it out loud because your body hears your thoughts. So be careful what you think,
Right.
you know? But
And that circles back to that idea of being in communication with your body, right?
mhm,
That pain was your body saying, hey, there's something here. Are you willing to listen? Right? Because
yeah.
you can go to a bunch of different modalities, and someone might say, oh, well, if it was your right shoulder, then maybe it was linked to heartbreak, and what meridian was it going down, and all this stuff. But truthfully, if you just give yourself enough space, or if you want to believe in the linear time, give yourself enough time to just be like, do you have a message for me? And sit with
Hmm.
it. And then I also relate that a lot to like angel numbers or anything you're going through as you're awakening, right? What does it
Hmm.
mean? Oftentimes it means ask, do you have a message for me? Be a part of the conversation instead of numbing the conversation or turning off drowning it out. Just be there. But I absolutely love that having that you finish the loop. Hey, pain, it's okay. And I'm like, oh, it is okay. It's okay to be here. I am safe.
Yeah. And it goes back to the intuition thing where we're all psychic and uh, listening, actively listening, and
Mm.
we're as a species getting worse and worse at listening to each other or thinking about what we're going to say next. But listening for the answer, which might not be in your body, it might come at you from other places. You're talking about angel numbers. We see angel numbers if you look for them. You
Hmm.
know, they're around. You have to look for the message. And sometimes messages will come at you and it'll just be hilarious. It's like, oh yeah, that's the answer.
Like I knew that one. Oh, do I totally understand that. And that's where I feel that it's an invitation to remember to be playful, right? We come here as playful beings, and we feel most present in our bodies when we're being playful. We're not planning ahead the next five things we're going to play with. We're just here, we're listening. And sometimes when those messages are just like, I knew that one, it's like, okay, great, laugh at yourself. Because here's your invitation to be playful or get more into your body. Be silly, be goofy, dance around, do what you have to do to just connect back to breath, be in this moment, and be like, all right, everything is going to be okay.
If there's only now.
Yes,
No matter
exactly.
how much we want to plan for
Yes.
whenever that now that you know, we just can't, there's just now.
Mm-hmm.
Love the now.
Mm-hmm.
Embrace it. Enjoy it. You get to choose how you're going to go through this experience. You can choose to be miserable,
Mm-hmm.
then it's not going to be a very pleasant ride for you.
Right.
Or you can choose to have a good time, find
Yes,
what's good about the situation and laugh and let the rest of it just fall where it's going to fall because we just don't know what we don't know.
exactly. I totally resonate with that. And I think it's important to remember if you're sitting there, you're like, I'm just miserable and I don't know how to laugh. Because sometimes we get into that
Yeah.
spiral, right? What's the
Yep.
purpose of life? And what, well, let's bring self-awareness to what am I giving energy to? Am I sitting there watching the news and saying it's all going out the door down the drain? Or am I, oh, looking out the window and seeing the beauty that's around me, even if you're in the dead of winter, right? Where's a
Mhm.
pop of color I can see that I know was put in my path just for me?
Yeah. And no amount of worry is going to change what's going to happen.
Right.
Can worry yourself to death, but it's not going
Mhm.
to change what's going to happen. What's going to happen is going to happen. And again, you get choices in the matter. You can
Yes,
choose to enjoy it, or you can choose to think all the world is falling and it will bring disease on you. I, for sure. I,
definitely.
that's how we end up with disease in our body. It's dis-ease.
Hmm.
We're not aligned anymore. It's like if you eat a whole bunch of potato chips and think you're not going to have a stomach ache,
Your
this is not
body's gonna talk.
it's just not how things work. So if you put a bunch
Right.
of junk food in your brain, like what you're
Yeah, you're gonna
seeing or
have
what you're
that spike
hearing.
and then you're gonna have that natural reaction to crash after.
Hmm. For
Absolutely.
sure. So how do you work with people? Is it in groups? Is it one-on-one? Is it courses? How does all that look?
So I offer my mentorship. That's my, it lights me up. I love that one-to-one because I've had people come in and be like, this is the route I'm going. I'm like, awesome. And then 2 sessions and they're like, that was never my route. And I was like, yeah, I'm so glad you got there. And then I work one-on-one also with massage, of course. And then I teach courses to groups such as following your intuition and BioTouch healing. And I really, truly honor the messages I get from spirit. So if something's exciting, I do it. People are always like, "Oh, what are you doing now?" So I love bringing community together, and it might seem like it doesn't connect to what I'm doing, but it all brings joy or brings an experience of a lesson, and so that's what I'm doing. But my core thing offers are definitely the group courses and the one-to-ones. I have a wait list right now for my monthly meetings to help check in, let spirit speak. So if
Mhm.
that's something that speaks to people, but I'm truly just honoring the path and where I am in this journey and holding space and asking if you want someone to walk alongside with you and be your biggest cheerleader besides yourself. That's what I'm here to offer.
I love that. And people can find exclusive access to strengthen your intuition on your website. Is it a newsletter?
So the Strengthening Your Intuition is a free download just to get the ball rolling. Let's see where you resonate as your current awareness of how intuitive you are and little practices to make that journey of awakening to the self-awareness exciting and fun.
I love it. And your website is Kai Cox, Kaicox .info.
Yes, that is
Okay,
correct.
perfect. Thank you so much for joining me, Kai. This has been a great conversation.
Jill, this has been so much fun. I am truly honored to have been on your amazing show.
You can learn more about Kai and get exclusive access to strengthen your intuition today by visiting kaicox.info. Thank you for joining us today. If you're ready to amplify your voice, monetize your mission, and start attracting premium clients, your next step is simple. Head to coachesalchemist.com and schedule your free client acquisition audit. Remember, change begins with you. You have all the power to change the world. Start today and get visible.